Alright guys, I've been awake since 4 solving math problems on my alarm, but I've slept 10 hours over the last 2 days. I'm just going to charge into the game and get started with my day because I don't think anything else is going to solve this problem. 10 minutes of YouTube, you guys are not ready for the quality you're about to get.
Looking much better now, but I'm going to take you guys through the daily routine. Alright. Let there be light. Let there be light. Let there be light.
Meditation. Relax your body while maintaining a lurch position.
Guys, who else do you know who's tacky enough to have on green LEDs at 6 a.m. in the morning? I'm kidding. Meditation was really good. Spent 15 minutes, 10 minutes just focusing on my breath, 5 minutes visualizing. That was super good. What else was really good is my sleep for some reason. I'm surprisingly extremely energetic. I don't even think I need caffeine to work today. But regardless, I will. Let me open the stim box. Alright, bang. We got NeuroGum, we got Lucy. So, what I'm going to do now is I've accidentally turned my monitor on, which I advised against everyone to do yesterday, but I'm not going to go ahead and open the PC. I'm just going to sip on my juice box and do the ramp up pre-monitor phase. And actually, you know what? I'm wearing red today. So why don't we go red?
Alright, attempt 2 at recording this. So I want to put you guys on some game and show you the plan for the day. So first and foremost, let's flip the camera around and show you what my plan is. So I just spent all my time in the ramp up, as you guys can see here. Then I'm going to begin editing until 12. And then if I open up the calendar a bit more, then I have my team meeting. Then I'm going to do some client work. Then I have my lunch, my reset. Then I have more editing. I'm going to go for a run. And then guess what? I got more editing. And that is what takes to learn how to become a good freaking editor, which is my goal right now. And yeah, sorry guys. That's the plan. And task list looks the exact same. I just want to get in this timeline, and by the end of today, I want this whole thing to be labeled and have the B-roll clips in there, and that will be a success of a day on my end. And the one thing I did want to show you guys before I kind of nope out and get back to work for the day, which, by the way, look what I just set up. You might not understand what this is right now, but you'll see it in a second. I want to show you guys how I manage and track my life, because I see a lot of people wanting to gamify their life and they install these weird apps and I build that stuff. None of that works, but I will show you the one thing that has for me, which is what I call the whiteboard. And you can see here pretty much the way that it works is I track a bunch of habits across a month for myself. So I have my wake up times, which you can see remain pretty darn consistent in the morning kind of section. I have praying and meditating. I don't record the praying part. Then I have my self-alchemy and charge visualization. That's what I do after the meditation. Then over here, I've got Hydration Max. This is pretty much just a ability for me to drink as much of this jug of water / any other liquid or thing on my desk as possible. Then I have calendar blocked, which is just there. From that point on, I track like all my bank accounts and stuff, and I'll show you guys that. And if I were to click over to September, you guys can see the exact same thing. The only habit I didn't complete was the cold exposure. Outside of that, for the literal entire month, I think every single habit, not go too far, was completed throughout the entire month, as you can see here. And this has been the system that I use to gamify my life. And it's literally just a simple spreadsheet. And I have so many of these that I could show you guys and go through the archives one day, but I keep it super, super simple. And just by doing that, it's something you can actually make consistent to, just by filling out every single day. And that has been the biggest game changer for me, along with the addition of stimulants to my work. So yeah, it's worked out. All right, boys, so we are in the game. It is 9:52 a.m. and we are almost done on the timeline. We have 9 minutes left worth of labeling, and then we're gonna get into the B-roll replacement, and that's the goal for the day. So things are moving along super, super well, and yeah, I'm honestly very happy with this tripod. I can go super high up. I hope you guys like the top-down angle, but yeah. I guess I'll step outside here, do a little bit of a walk and talk, because I want to finish my beautiful tea that, I don't know if you guys know this, but I drink way too much honey, and my tea is one of the main culprits of doing that. So yeah, great day, and the biggest thing that I have been thinking about today, whoa, holy flashbang, but let's take a look. Take a look outside. Beautiful. Can't get that in Canada. No, you cannot. But yeah, took a second there to think. What I want to articulate is you need to understand the game you are playing, because oftentimes people are playing a game that they don't even know of, and because of that, it's almost impossible to win. So I'll give you an example. If your goal is to accumulate as much liquid cash as possible, trying to maximize the amount of revenue you make in a month is an absurd concept, right? Like, you're trying to maximize your net worth, the amount that you have invested into an account. What does your monthly revenue have to do with anything? The big thing is that I realized I was playing for that, how much I have invested, and because of that, I switched kind of the paradigm of how I operate to A, cutting living expenses, right, to have the lowest overhead possible. And that's a whole other concept. I track every single dollar I spend, and it's actually something I took inspiration from reading the book Titan, where John D. Rockefeller talks about how he tracked every dollar and kind of the story. I'll spare you the story, but he tracks every dollar, and his mother passed it down to him. And I started doing that, and because you look at all the most successful companies in the world, and even to a certain extent people, and they're aggressive cost cutters. Right? Amazon, that's their whole philosophy. And Microsoft, exact same way. And I consider myself an abundant person in the sense that I'll spend money, I'll give money to people. I'm very loose with the money that I decide to allocate for spending. But when it comes to what I allocate, I'm the exact opposite, right? I might spend a few $100 on just like Chipotle and like random takeout, just walking into gas stations or coffee stations every day. But that's only after I've allocated 95% of it to an investment account, right? Of course, after tax allocations and all that stuff too. And yeah, that's why I kind of bring this whole thing up, is maximizing for monthly revenue. If you're playing the game of how much can I have invested, doesn't always make sense, because cutting costs is the first step, I think, towards being able to get the maximized amount invested, at least on a short-term time horizon, right? there's always this saying that you can go like for a big exit and run on low margins, etc. But if you want to see the number in your investment account go up every single month, that's what I wanted. You run a lean business. And for me, I'm not even maximizing my earning potential right now, because you guys probably see that I don't spend much time on customer acquisition efforts, right? Like, do you guys see me jumping on sales calls, dialing up leads, like chasing people down and doing all this stuff? Is no. I get a few clients that I kind of even have like a backlog for, people that probably like message away and they'd want to work with me because they've expressed this in the past. But my goal is to build the media company and a personal brand ecosystem, because I understand that that is so much more valuable, and it also allows me to focus on developing the skill of media production. A, because I find this stuff super fun. Like, I don't know, it's just so much to learn, so much to do, so many skills involved. But then at the same time, I also get to make money off that, right? I get paid by YouTube AdSense, and as my brand continues growing, I'm sure I'll find different avenues to invest in stuff and whatnot. But the big play is not just like ripping a course to infinity, right? There are guys who have done insane with that, like Iman. But even him, I think he's a perfect example of this, is he started diversifying out into software like a year or 2 years into the info game. He was, at least with Grow Your Agency, if you're talking about that, he had like other little courses before that that didn't like really pan out for him and stay around long term. But with Grow Your Agency, he diversified and started building software pretty early. Alex Becker talks about the same thing, is you have to build a real company. And for me, the first thing I'm working on is the essential asset of the media company. Today's landscape and ecosystem is not like it was back in 2016 or 2017, where even if you go before that to like 2013, a guy like Ty Lopez built his brand because he was able to pay a cent per subscriber or some crazy number like that. And he built his following through just abusing the YouTube ads algorithm. So he doesn't actually have much content creation skill. He has content distribution skill because he found an asymmetric leverage in kind of the way the algorithm worked. Another example of somebody doing that is Tate, right? He found an asymmetric opportunity in short form content. Luke Belmar, same thing. Iman kind of capitalized it, but not as much as the two guys I mentioned before, Tate, Belmar. And because he had been posting on YouTube for so long, that to just say like, hey, he's a short form crutch would be pretty disrespectful to the actual ecosystem that he has. And then now in this current meta, honestly, it's weird because it's very easy to look back in hindsight and say like, yeah, this is what was working during this time, right? But I don't want to act like I'm a market maker, because I'm not. But here's my philosophy. Regardless of what is the asymmetric leverage point, the people that get the most asymmetric benefit from that leverage point at a given time is the person who's established the foundation. And the biggest mindset shift that I've had is the longer you can pull the slingshot back, the bigger you can build the foundation, the more asymmetric benefit that you're going to get. I was talking with my friend who's an artist about this, really good friend. I actually want to start including his music in the videos, but he said it's the exact same thing with music. The longer an artist goes and stays small while still being able to produce music and not quit, the bigger their blow up is, because it all comes at once in this big exponential growth kind of pattern. And the best part is that the creators, their infrastructure, both internally, so how they think about their strategy, but also just their catalog is so developed, so they'll be able to see continued success and not just be like a one-hit wonder, which we're seeing more and more of these days. So that's kind of where I'm thinking, and let my actions speak louder than words. But right now, I don't know if you're watching this in the future, these vlogs get anywhere from 5 to 20 views. And I'm on the 38th day of doing this. So the amount of time I've spent on this is a lot less than the benefit, right? I've probably spent close to like 100 hours documenting right now. And those 100 hours, if I allocated them into a video, like one on my main channel, those videos now are getting, the current one is about to hit 70,000, the other one's about to hit 90,000. So it's not like I'm trying to go for the most views here. I think I have like 500 total on this channel as of right now. What I am trying to do is expand this very broad foundation, because I know it's going to be a compound effect when this does begin picking up momentum, and I'll have a really good idea of how I want to do this series. If my first ever video got a bunch of views, even like 500 views, I would not know how I want to do this, and I wouldn't be ready to continue doing this series and building this channel. So it was the same way with my main channel, and going to be continuing to grow, right? I saw the exact same amount of growth on my channel in my first 195 videos compared to my 196 video. It grew my channel just as many subscribers as the 195 videos before that. It's insane how compound growth works. And that's why I'm not attached to, I guess, the typical path of like, hey, let me just rip this offer to infinity, make a few hundred Ks in revenue and then disappear. It's almost better to withhold some of the potential revenue you can gain to just reallocate that into doubling down on growth. And by not squeezing all of the reputational lemon that you have, you gain the ability to actually grow it much larger. And sorry, let me just set this down while I take my sweater off. It's really nice today. And I don't like wearing t-shirts often. There's a funny story behind that as to why I don't wear t-shirts while I work, but not that for today. Yeah, it's an interesting one, how the space kind of works. And my way of maneuvering it is I want to get my YouTube AdSense. They currently actually cash flow all my business expenses. From my main channel, I think I've made around 500 bucks this month so far, which is actually pretty crazy, considering I was getting like a few hundred views like 3 or 4 months ago. And yeah, I'm just super grateful on that regard. And I'm just going to keep doubling down on the infrastructure of building this, getting better and making videos to the point where it becomes undeniable when I eventually do really get that big breakthrough. And that's, again, the big thing I wanted to talk about here is just whatever you have going on in your life, just get the foundation. Like, just focus on the darn foundation, because whoever can go the longest without seeing results is typically the one who wins the biggest. That foundation, how far you can pull back the slingshot, is so powerful. There's a video on Iman's channel actually where he talks about how he wants to keep pulling back the slingshot. And the further you can keep pulling it back, you just have to trust in it. You have to have faith. I have faith in God. Just keep pulling back the slingshot. One day it will. And again, the longer you go, the bigger results you're gonna get. So that's my plan here. And I imagine I will sell some form of informational product, probably around YouTube. Not in like the, I don't know, we'll see. I wanna have a transformational and actual like tangible, either I'm doing stuff or I'm actually doing stuff for people kind of thing, and make tools within it. And then what I want to do is immediately after that, start building into the world of both software for actually making better YouTube videos. Because I think there's a lot of great stuff right now, but there's so many tools that even I use that people don't necessarily know about yet. Like, I've built so many in-house tools and processes and whatnot that could be turned into a software, and not like some cookie cutter crappy stuff. Like, I mean some secret sauce that I would be happy to give away, but to do it fully justice, it would take me probably multiple tens, if not hundreds of hours of sitting down to properly distill it, and then even more to actually teach it to somebody, because as much as it's secret sauce, it's an incredibly difficult machine to execute that requires a lot of time and previous experience. So that's my plan. And as I begin doing well, like immediately when I begin doing well in the information product game, or my brand begins growing, and as a result of that, I just get more and more customers for whatever I'm selling related to YouTube, because that's what I believe in, I am going to almost immediately take notice of that and go, okay, now it's time to start planning for the next thing, because you can't sell information your whole life. And actually, I would rather only ever sell information while I'm not only doing that thing, but have it be my main thing, right? YouTube is my main thing, so I'm very confident to sit there and work with somebody and help them with YouTube, because I know how much time I put into it, and I know how much time other people put into it, and that I'm qualified to talk about growth at a certain level, right? Like, I might not be the best guy to get you millions and millions of views because I'm not there yet, but when it comes to getting a channel off the ground, I've been there, done that, right? And I've been doing it for myself and other people for quite some time now. So, big yap session, all to say, focus on the foundation, understand your money model, focus on the investing elements of what you do if you want to build a big personal net worth, right? And then use not private equity. You can do that after, but use equity in your own company as kind of your big cash cow, but not until you're financially set. Cut your expenses and don't fall victim to like lifestyle marketing. It's a slippery slope, you know. I've seen a lot of the insides of how stuff kind of works, and I would rather be a great content. Like, I think being a great content creator without doing lifestyle content makes your brand stupidly magnetic and will allow you to see much, much bigger growth, right, than somebody who is just like a lifestyle market crutch. So that's my thoughts here. I've been yapping for quite some time now, so I'm gonna get back to sitting down and doing some editing. However, I hope you picked up something of value here. Again, you just need to trust the long-term vision in the process and pick one thing and just get stupidly good at it, like obsess over every single little aspect of it. And for me, that's YouTube. And as I continue doing that and getting better and better and better and better at it, not only will my main channel grow as I learn like that style, but I also want to master this personal style and create engaging content for you guys to have you see me rather than just like the simulated clips of when you see me at like this little perfect setup or whatever. So that is goal and roundup. And if you're watching this in the future, looks really stupid. But if you're seeing this in the future, this is what I was thinking. And yeah, that's all I got. Okay guys, so I just finished watching this podcast here with Eric, and it's the only interview I believe he's done since like 2022. And you could look up to guys like in the info space and in the entrepreneurial space, but when it comes to the game of social media, I've always found more value looking at the people who play the entertainment game at the highest level, and then finding out how to kind of transmute their concepts. Because if you can take what those guys are doing and somehow pull it off in the business world, oh, you're just so ahead. So this video had some crazy sauce that I want to share with you guys. So the first thing he talks about in the very start of it that I found very, very interesting is describing your channel with a singular word. So for Mr. Beast, the word was spectacle. For Ryan Trahan, I believe the word was quirky, And for Eric, the word that he chooses for his channel was mischievous. And he does stuff where, if you don't know him, if you know me, you probably know him. He sneaks onto places and he gets up to like playful, mischievous acts. That's his channel. And Mr. Beast, spectacle, right? So it's like spending as much money as you can. Ryan Trahan, it's a bit quirky, a bit more personality based. And it really made me think, damn, what's my word? What does someone expect when they click on my channel? And I have a pretty good format nailed down. It took me like 200 videos almost to figure out like, hey, this kind of like creator breakdown format is what I want to do. But I never really got to think about, okay, well, beyond that, what is the one word that describes my channel? So I'm going to be doing some thinking about that today. Next thing is something that I've had a suspicion of, but I have not heard somebody talk about this, and it just gave me so much clarity, which is that YouTube is a lot more about earning a viewer's attention in order to get a high retention on the video. So when I think about my philosophy around watching videos, I usually discredit a lot of the lower production moments or the less entertaining moments once I'm already bought into the topic of the video, right? And Eric completely confirmed this. He says like, hey, I meet with some of the greatest minds on YouTube, and every single time we meet, we talk about one thing, which is how do we make better hooks and intros, right? And better packaging on the videos, whatnot. Now, the packaging for me is pretty like uniform. I'm not too concerned about making massive changes to that now. My click-through rate on the style is good already, and I think it will just grow as I continue to establish more of my format. That being said, what I didn't think about and what was very interesting was if you really go all out in the first bit of the video, you can earn a viewer's attention to where as long as you don't make any massive screw-ups in the video, you will get their retention and you will have them watch fully through. And something he said that I talk about how YouTube's an exponential reward system a lot, right? Like a video that's 1% better might get 100 times the results. But he said there is a exponential second drop-off in value. So the first second is exponentially more valuable than the second second, and it just goes down a ladder in that format. So when you think of a video like that, the rules of YouTube, the 30-second hook, well, if you think about it, why not pull the hook off in 10 to 15 seconds? That's something that I've thought about, right? Why not try and pull the hook off in 10 to 15 seconds and go absolutely all out to get all the videos of the idea across? And I think the hooks for my videos are something, my most recent video is a 75% hook retention, but dude, I think I could have got it to like 80 or 90 if I really, really went all out on the video, just kind of rewatching it now. And I mean like CGI, animations flying around, like all freaking out is what I want to do now. And this kind of just confirmed it for me. So I'm really going to sit on these lessons and think about them. And the next thing, and the final part that he said, which is really true, is starting sawdust businesses. So he gave the example of, you look at why did I forget the example? Pretty much, people who were cutting wood, lumber business, after cutting all this wood, they were seeing sawdust on the floor. And one guy eventually went one day, hey, well, why don't we just turn this into something? And that was what became plywood, which was a crazy stream of revenue. So I say that because I have a sawdust business based on my YouTube channel. It's a great way of describing what I do. I take on some people that I do consulting for, and for a very few select people actually make their videos as a result of me making really good videos and people wanting to emulate that. So that's my sawdust business, and I'm gonna forever use that analogy to describe it. So there's so many downloads here, like this, especially the exponential second one, and how I can just go so all out on my hook going forward that I just need to download, because I promise you, your hook retention isn't just your hook retention. It's your ability to bite to make the viewer bite on the video. I want to write this down too, because if you have a really good hook, it can't just be something that keeps them entertained, but you have to confirm the click, and you also have to get them to bite on the rest of the video. And if you can get that bite, you've got the video. And from that point on, there's diminishing returns as it goes on, right? What happens in the 4th minute or a little bit near the end or the middle doesn't matter as much. And that really comforts me, because, not saying that I will, but you can kind of taper off the production quality the further you get in. And you don't have to go crazy with 3D animations and whatnot. So that's very, very refreshing, and I need to get these downloads in my brain. So I'm going to sit here in quiet for a bit while I just finish up some client work and, yeah, really think about this, because if I implement this, we're going to see some big changes and upticks in the video. It makes me really want to redo the intro for the video that I currently have, but it doesn't make sense to. I'm just going to make sure that it's implemented for the next one and just put a way bigger emphasis on the hook, because I've kind of been being experimental about the hooks. Like the immediate confirm click part, I think I have a really good job of with the board and the physical building of it. That's great, but I think I could do a way better job of, after the first 2 to 3 seconds, getting buy-in to every section of the video by showing it on the board. I think that would rip, and I just have to get the CGI and the camera angles right. So yeah, that is all, and boosh. I don't know if you guys can tell, I am so flustered right now. I didn't even realize that I picked this camera up and talked to it about that already. I need to go work out, because I'm grateful, let's say. That's what I'll draw from this. I'm grateful that I realized this, because, yeah, I need to get better. Like, dude, there's just so much to improve with these, and I get it's been cool what I've been able to do relative to where I was before this, but I actually think if you gave me a shot to remake the TJR or the Brez video right now, it would have 250. Easily. I'd get my first 100K video guaranteed, because there's just so much missing, and I just need to fix it. So this Rob video, I've learned a lot in this process. If I edit this video fully myself and I walk away with that as my learning lesson from this video, I will be happy, because I've learned so much in the production for this video that I know will go on to serve me super well, even if this video flops, which I suspect it is probably going to, just because Rob's smaller compared to some of the guys that I've been making videos on as well. So, damn. Okay. I'll have to keep you guys updated, but this is one of those times when you go up a rung and you just get humbled as to the version of me that went from where I was with my channel to where I am now needs to die in order for me to get to the next version of me, which breaks through to 100,000 subscribers, or even 10,000. No, I think 100,000 is the next version of me that needs to come into existence. So 100K subs, Alex is being born. That is all. All right, guys, so I've finished all my work, and to be honest, I am pretty darn annoyed right now. There's a multitude of things that have annoyed me. I don't think they're worth speaking about and giving attention and energy to, but I just found something so freaking cool I want to show you guys. So, see my computer up there. Now you might be asking yourself, oh, Alex, if you zoom or you use your scroll wheel, oh, that's like, yeah, you're just controlling it through that. But what I've actually been doing is I figured out how to remote into this. So my Apple MacBook, that's super crappy, it's an M1 chip. It was the first ever thing I got as an entrepreneur, as a gift to myself. And you can see that I'm controlling the computer up here. So if I use my hands like this and I were to click to my Brave and just go into like a random Canva file I have, you can see that it's moving up here because I've got it remoted into. So what that means is if I go and travel to see my friends, which I might go and see them today because I have no more recording to do, and to be honest, I might go a bit stir crazy here in a second, I get to still have all my files, editing, and leverage my internet and processing power over here. Sick. And yeah, I mean, this could be insane. Like, I can now control this computer from literally anywhere. That's so, like, yeah, let's go. So I am going to do a little bit more research and play around with this thing, but this is going to be so helpful for if I ever have to travel or if I have to just do anything other than be at my desk. And it just feels so like insane getting like a PC performance on a Mac, or thinking like I could be halfway across the world using my internet here, or using the files that I have here with literally no connection to it. Yeah, it's like a remote server. Well, it literally is just like a hardware server that I'm remoting into. Pretty simple. Like, it's not an advanced concept by any means, but it's just cool that I can literally set it up with the software with like 10 to 15 minutes of effort. And there's so many things in the content creation process that are like this that nobody will tell you about. Like, you won't see anybody give you the advice. Yeah, if you're editing big videos, you should be remoting into servers and having like an actual physical server with resources like all the big YouTubers doing all this stuff. This is what they do, but they don't tell anybody about this. And you have to kind of figure it out yourself. So I get why they don't tell people. Cool bird here that I want to show you guys. Animal Watch, Alex's Animal Watch. Boom. I don't want to disturb the fella, but I do want to get a nice shot because, you know, people do bird photography. Oh, he just left. Crap, that was too loud. People do bird photography, and I have a camera, so I feel like I could do it too. No, but that is too close. Now, yeah, feeling good, and the only action steps that remain for me today are workout. And if I do go and see my friends, obviously I'm not going to keep my like 4 a.m. schedule. I'll wake up at a more fair time, still early, like they're working, it's the middle of the week. But yeah, could be a good idea to cool off. I haven't seen any of friends, people other than my mom who I live with in over 3 months now. Just crazy to think about. But yeah. Yep, might do that today. Again, goes through or it doesn't, but the big premise is, yeah, sometimes they'll take a step back. If not, I'm going to confirm that, and I'll be going for a run. And from that point on, we keep working, we keep pushing, we keep growing. And let me get real with you guys for a second. What pissed me off is, sit down in bed. What pissed me off is, to be honest, my videos. So my videos put me in a bad mood because I was sitting there and I was like, holy crap, there are so many things that I want to improve. And I kind of know how to improve them, and that's motivating, it feels good. But a little bit of embarrassment too. And then I try and communicate that to people. And I know other people don't care, but I'm trying to figure this out, and when somebody doesn't care, they're completely right to do so, but it's still kind of bothered me, just me being honest. Again, no right to do it. Like, I say this to people all the time. With a lot of the demands that I make, or ways that I want things done, I understand I am the unreasonable person here. But that doesn't change that I'm asking for that thing, or I want to do this thing in a certain way for a reason still, right? It might be unreasonable and out of the normal, but I still have a reason to do it. And I think that is something that, as I've grown further and further into the kind of entrepreneurial world, you first start off with like this kind of distaste for anyone not on the same path as you. It's like, Brokey, 9 to 5, normie, whatever. And you realize that, dude, everyone's got their own life. And I think one of the best things that I've learned to do is not judge people. I might make jokes, but I really genuinely do try not to judge anybody for anything, really, right? Like, I lived in areas where there's a lot of homeless people around. To be honest, they chose that life, right? And yes, circumstances might have led them there, but ultimately they got the life they wanted, right? Our situation that we're in is the result of the actions we've taken, and we take the actions we want, whether we know that or not. And I think to try and like push your worldview of how things should be on other people is wrong. I think you should try and inspire, but not to disown or lesser than somebody who is his thing. And the reason I say that is because I speak to even other entrepreneurs, right, that might not see eye to eye with me on business model or ways to operate. And same thing is you just have to learn not to judge it. At first I did. I was like, da-da-da, you don't get this, you'll see one day. And that part of me still exists, but it's not the driving factor. It all comes back to me, right? And to continue the story, I got pissed off because I don't think my own videos are good enough, and also because I realized like so many shortcuts that I took on my videos that are causing me more work now on the current video I'm working on, like that thing about not including the B-roll. So now I have to go and find through all the B-roll that I was somehow mentioning in the script somewhere, or it's somewhere in the 100 hours of research and content I watched. Stuff like that on this video really bothered me, and the fact that it's taking so much of my time away from actually learning how to edit, right? It's taken me over 15 hours of work to just get the clips in order and decide this is going to be an animation, this is going to be a B-roll, etc. I could have just written that into the script, and it would have been so easy if I just planned out all the edits in the script, which is what I'm going to be doing going forward because it makes so much sense. So yeah, just stuff like that. And also for my previous videos, I looked at the quality, and there's a situation that I don't think is appropriate to talk about yet, just because I value people's privacy, and while it's still ongoing, I don't want to speak about it. It's nothing bad, but I am going to be making some changes to the way that I make videos, because there have been some big things that I've learned as I'm getting better at editing, because it forces you to see other dimensions of the video production process that I just know things could be so much better, and it's almost an embarrassment to like watch my own videos. Outside of that initial wow factor I have, I'm finding it so hard to watch my own videos, and that's not good. I can sit down and I can watch my vlogs with a smile on my face and be like, damn, I did a good job. So my video that has 14 views, I can sit down and watch that, but I can't sit down and watch the one that has 70,000 or the one that has like 89,000. I can't watch that one. And I think it's just such a lack of thinking done on my end. Like, even I haven't been able to summarize my own channel with one word yet. And that's the thing, is there's so many. I'm so grateful, because this confusion is a sign that I've reached a new level. So what happens is you approach and go onto new levels, and I've observed that on each level I get to, I go through the, why am I forgetting this? The slope of enlightenment, what's it called? Why am I forgetting what it's called? I have no clue why I'm forgetting what this is called. My mind's completely blanking me. It will come to me very, very soon. But it's pretty much the graph where it goes up, where you think you're a lot better than you are, goes down, and then you go on the slope of enlightenment. I was talking about this like yesterday, by name, with no issue. I've told this story like hundreds of times about this effect. Dunning-Kruger. That's it. Dunning-Kruger effect. Okay. So,
you go through the Dunning-Kruger effect at every new level that you reach, and you know you're about to advance in levels when you get a payoff, but before you get the payoff, the process becomes boring for you and you think you know it all. Right when you think you know it all and becomes boring, it's a sign that you're about to incur a big shift in level, and that's going to be reset. So it's almost like, it's not like it resets and like the Dunning-Kruger effect goes up and it goes down, and then the graphs play into each other. So let me actually run in, because this could be a very good lesson for people and a big breakthrough for me, selfishly. Okay, so close this damn door and get this pencil and paper out. So you can see here my musings on how to make these videos better, but I flip the page around and show you guys. So this is pretty much what happens, is you start something, goes up, super happy, down, then you go on slope of enlightenment, and then what happens here is when you reach, sorry, I'm writing with I can't see the paper, I'm just looking through the camera. Right as you reach this new level, so this is the difference between the levels, and right as you go to this new level, what happens is it goes up again, and you go down slightly to being worse, and you slowly, and this cycle just keeps on repeating to infinity of getting better at things. So the reason why I share that is because I was just at this point, went up, boom, boom, and now thing. So I really have to reassess and figure out what I want to do next, but yeah, it's great, and I'm grateful for it because it's a sign that there are new lessons for me to learn and get better at this new stage, and this is how I level up. So yeah, charge it to the game. Okay, so I'm about to go and visit my friends, maybe for one day, maybe for a few days, we'll see. But I want to show you guys the travel kit that I've got optimized. So first and foremost, we have the books. We have the outfit I'm going to be changing into in a second. We got AirPod Maxes, wires. This doesn't need to be here. We have the hoodie, the Alex hoodie. Then we got deodorant, keys. This is NeuroGum, charger, sleeping mask, blue light glasses over there. We got an adapter. This is important for the SD card in this camera. And we got lens, we got camera cover, extra battery, which I should put somewhere. I don't know. I'll figure that out. But yeah, going to get this whole situation all figured out, and I'll show you guys kind of the packing montage.